Hello, welcome to Yoga with Dags. I hope you're having a beautiful day. We're going to begin today in a restorative posture. So we're going to begin in Supta Baddha Konasana with 2 bricks. So if you need to pause your video for a moment and gather 2 yoga blocks and a belt and a chair. And if you don't have blocks, you could roll up a little blanket for under your shoulders or something else. But we're going to, like a towel could work, something like that. But the bottom brick is going to go this way, the flat, long way. And the top brick is going to go to the medium height for your head. And we're going to just settle ourselves down. It's nice to come down slowly. And when you come down, try to get the bottom edge of your brick just beneath the shoulder blades so that, most of your shoulder, actually all of your shoulder blades are going to rest on the brick. And the top brick will go right under the base of the skull. And just take a minute to settle yourself. This should feel very comfortable. If for any reason this is not feeling comfortable for you, it means usually that the brick is either too low or too high. So you want it so that it's actually going to give you a nice lift up in your chest and nice length in the lower back. Have your knees bent to begin with, and just allow yourself to land here in this moment, in this body that you've been given for another day. Begin to find your breath. Maybe close your eyes for a moment and just begin to settle here. And once you feel nice and comfortable in this posture, let's put our feet together with the knees bent, and then just let the legs splay out to the side for a moment to let the hips begin to soften, open, as well as the shoulders. And just take a few nice big breaths. In through the nose and out through the nose. Feel the belly rise up and the chest rise up as you inhale all the way up to your collarbones. And as you exhale, just allow the breath to empty out fully. And just begin to allow your mind to settle as well. Whatever your day was like today, just begin to release the day, release whatever you have planned for later. And just draw yourself into your body, into this moment, into your breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose in a beautiful, steady flow. And then when you're ready, inhale and just draw those legs back together. Exhale and straighten the legs out into Supta Tadasana here. And then let's just take our arms up toward the ceiling as if they were on railroad tracks, palms facing one another. And then get hold of your elbows. Inhale the elbows up and exhale the elbows over the crown of your head. And just breathe into the shoulders. And as you're doing this, reach out through the heels, reaching from the buttocks through the heels. Soften the tops of the shoulders. Breathe into any tightness in the shoulders or neck. Lengthening your body. Big breath in, and then exhale, release your arms like a flower out to the side. Just let them open right up here. Good, and then bending the knees. Let's just roll gently off of the bricks. Remove them out of the way. And then roll right back onto your back. Ah, good. And then keeping the knees bent, take Baddha Konasana one more time. So the bottoms of the feet together and the knees out to the side. And just feel that hips opening again. And maybe just take your hands to your forehead and just give your forehead a nice little massage. Massaging the third eye, which is the space between your eyebrows, your space of intuition, your space of inner knowing. A lot of times we can get furrowed brows there. So just smooth out your furrowed brow. If you have one, smooth out your forehead. And maybe even come out to the temples and just give the temples a nice little rub. Rubbing away any stress from your face, maybe down to the jaw. Give the jaw a little rub. Good. And releasing your face. Let's inhale and draw those legs back together, and then just exhale and straighten them out for a moment. And just try to lengthen your spine as if you were in Uttanasana, mountain pose, standing. Try to reach through the heels and lengthen the spine from the tail all the way to the crown. And then take your left leg right in for a minute here. And just rock it back and forth. Begin to open up that hip joint a little bit. Squeezing it into the chest. Maybe rotate the ankle a little bit. Both directions, getting any tension out of the joints here. And then we're going to take that leg out to the side into tree pose. So put the foot against the inner thigh. If that doesn't work for you, you can put it down against the calf or the ankle. But find a full external rotation in this leg, in your left leg. And put your hands on your hip points and just see what could you do to make the hip points a little more even. A lot of times this bent leg hip drops down, so sort of lift it up as you allow the hip to open out to the side in a lying down tree pose here. And then take your arms up above your chest, clasp the hands, and then extend your index fingers. Take a big breath in, and on the exhale, take them right up over your head. Good. And just stretch yourself out, reaching up through the hands, reaching down through the extended leg, leveling the hips, making lots of space here. Big breath in, and then exhale, slowly release the arms. And then just take the leg up and then down. And we'll do that on the other side too. So bending the right leg, bringing the knee into the chest, and just opening it up here a little bit. Opening that hip up. And I'm going to just turn myself so that you can see the angle a little bit better of the tree pose. And just opening this hip. Once you've kind of opened that joint a little bit, back and forth, open the ankle joint as well with little circles for the ankle, finding your flexibility in the ankles. Good, and then rolling that leg out to the side. You're going to either bring it up high on the thigh or down lower if you want to, down to the calf or ankle, finding external rotation in that bent leg.
And then feeling for the hip points, extending through the opposite leg, letting this leg soften out to the side, rolling open at the top of your femur bone. Feel for evenness in your pelvis. You may have to lift up in the bent leg hip point a little bit more to match the other one. Just kind of seeking symmetry in your hip points. And then taking the arms up, take your uncustomary steeple grip. So clasping the hands in the way you don't normally clasp them, extending the index finger, lifting up, and exhaling over the crown of the head. Reaching out through the fingertips, breathing, reaching down through the foot, opening, extending your body in both directions as you breathe deeply and nourishing your body with your breath as best you can. Knowing that this breath is sacred. The fact that we're breathing is a sacred thing and a gift. So taking as much beautiful breath in as you can, and then as you exhale, just letting go of negative thinking, letting go of anything that doesn't serve you through the breath, letting it carry it away. Nice big breath in, and then exhale, release the arms, and just gently bring that leg back up to center. Good. And let's just do a little windshield wipers. Bend the legs, feet at the edges of the mat, arms out to the side, just gently dropping them off to the left, inhaling them up, dropping them off to the right, keeping the feet at the edges of the mat. Just notice any tightness in the hips, inhaling up and exhaling down. Just letting your body come into even a little tiny twist as you do this in the waist. Using the breath to bring fluid movement. Just a couple more times. Good. And then inhaling up, and then we're just going to roll to the side to gently come up. Coming onto all fours for a moment here. So coming onto all fours for a moment, get your knees wide and your big toes touching, and just come back for a nice little child's pose. So knees wide, big toes touch, extending back into a child's pose, and then just rocking gently back and forth to relieve the lower back. Good. Now we're going to come into tree pose on the side of our body. So we're going to lay right on your side. So you can choose which side to go on first. And you're going to extend the arm straight up. And you're going to try to find Tadasana in your body by finding your body in a beautiful line. Your base of your skull should be over your shoulders. Your shoulders should be over the hips, hips over the heels. And this in itself is a little bit of a balance pose. Once you feel like you've gotten this balance pose, you can bend the top leg and either place it down at the ankle for tree pose, at the calf for tree pose, or above the knee for tree pose. But just kind of finding the place you want to do that and feeling the top of the thigh is right where the bone enters the socket. It's externally rotating, so it's rolling open. Meanwhile, the outer hips are moving in toward each other to lengthen your spine. Your chest is nice and broad. And if you want to bring the arm up to the other arm, clasping the hands, steeple grip, There's a little rolling up in the heart center. There's a reaching out through the extended leg and finding a beautiful breath in this Supta tree pose here. Deep breath in. And on the exhale, we can release the arm, we can release the leg, we can roll onto the other side. I'm going to turn around, but you don't have to. You can just roll over if you want. And begin again by finding the alignment. Arms straight up beneath the ear. Finding mountain pose. Base of the skull over shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over heels. Finding the balance on the side of your body. And then external rotation in the leg, finding the proper place for you today, either at the ankle, calf, or upper leg. And coming into a balance here in tree pose. Reaching the knees straight up toward the ceiling. Finding your balance, outer hips moving in, leveling the hips. And then when you are ready, if you want to bring the arm up, clasp the hands, reach up through the arms, maybe roll the heart up a little bit. Definitely balancing right on the side of your body, finding ease in the moment and presence. Nice big breath in, and then exhale that top arm down, release the leg, and rolling back onto your back again. We're going to stretch our hamstrings next to prepare us for a couple standing poses. So grab your belt or your bathrobe tie or whatever you have, bend the knees, and we're going to do our right leg first, reaching it up. Coming right on up here, reaching the heel up to the ceiling, straightening the leg as best you can, and then straightening the opposite leg. And just come into a nice Supta Pangustasana. Now, if you can take your hand to the outer hip of your lifted leg and just guide it downward, to level the hips, because once again, we want our hips to be nice and level. And then since we've been working with the external rotation, we're going to roll out this lifted leg thigh externally, right from the top of the leg. And that'll make the toes turn out as well. So turn out that leg a little bit. Bring the opposite arm out to the side, take a big breath in, and then holding the belt as high as you can so your arms are straight. We're going to slowly lower out to the side, reaching out through both heels as we go, lowering that leg out. Good, and really feeling just like we did in the last pose, an opening through that thigh bone. So it's external rotation in the upper hip. When you're ready, we're going to inhale it back up to the center. Switch the belt into the other hand. Keep taking down that outer hip as you cross over slowly, just crossing over until you begin to get a good stretch. So this right outer hip is moving down toward the left inner ankle, and the arm can come out to the side and just breathing. Good, and then a big breath back to the center. And we're going to exhale, we're going to bend the opposite leg. We're going to cross the ankle above the knee of the ankle of the leg we were just working, above the opposite knee. And then you're just going to weave your hands in to get hold of the back of that thigh into a figure four stretch, which is going to really open up this muscle on the outer hip that gets so tight for so many of us. It's the piriformis muscle. And you can just, sometimes I'll use my elbow of the bent leg to just kind of guide the knee away from the shoulder a little bit and just breathe into this stretch, bringing the knee a little closer to deepen the stretch. Good, and then releasing that stretch. And we're gonna do our second side. So this time it'll be the left. If you began with the right and belting the leg, stretching the leg straight up. Arms are straight, legs are straight, taking a minute just to feel what that feels like to straighten that hamstring out, moving into awareness of the hamstring. And energetically, we're thinking about the front of the thigh, this quadricep moving toward the hamstring. You can even gently move it that way. And then extending the opposite leg and leveling the hips again. Finding a good breath. Keeping the belt in the left hand. We're going to roll that leg out from the top of the thigh. Opposite arm can go out to the side. Hold up as close to the foot as you can and slowly lower that leg out to the side for a nice stretch. Reach out through the heels of both legs. Drop the outer hip of the leg you're stretching down toward the opposite inner ankle to level the hips. And breathe, nice, beautiful breath. Good. Use the inhalation to bring it up to the center, switching the belt into the opposite hand. This left arm can go out to the side, gently drawing it across the midline, keeping the leg at hip height if you can, and dropping the outer hip toward the opposite ankle. Again, breathing. When you're ready, inhaling that up to the center, bending the opposite leg, crossing the ankle above the knee, weaving your hands in to draw the thigh toward the chest and taking a nice little figure four stretch. Sometimes people will straighten the leg, sometimes keep it bent. You can even use the elbow of the bent leg knee to gently guide the knee away from your shoulder. You can explore movement and breath. Just stretching it out. The closer you draw that thigh toward the chest, the deeper the stretch becomes. Good, and then uncrossing that leg. Landing the feet, maybe just stretch them out for a moment and just feel the effects of all those stretches on the hips. And then bending the legs again, we're going to roll to the side. We're going to come up to tabletop for a moment for a little cat-cow, little juice in the spine. Inhaling, lifting the tail, chin, chest. Exhaling, arching the back. And a couple more of those. Following the breath as you go. Inhaling to a neutral spine, curling the toes under. Big breath in and exhale, press the hips up for a nice downward facing dog. Maybe bend the knees for a minute and lift your hips higher and then straighten into the heels. Taking a nice breath into your doggy. And when you're ready, looking up between the hands and just slowly walking yourself forward. Feet beneath the knees beneath the hips, just hanging loosely for a moment. Nice forward fold, releasing the neck. And then pressing into the feet. Let's inhale up, sweeping the arms out and up. Big breath of life, gathering it up. And exhaling the hands to the heart. And releasing.
Good. Okay, so I thought we would do those stretches standing up next. So Pangustasana 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to put my chair on the mat and I'm going to put my bricks up together, pile it, 2 bricks on top of each other. And then I'm going to begin with my right leg. And I'm going to put it up. I'm going to put the belt on it and I'm going to extend it onto the bricks. And then I'm just going to back myself up for a moment until I feel like my hips are right over my standing leg. I'm going to walk my hands down the belt so that my arms are extended. And I'm going to use that belt to help me stand up straighter. Just like when we were laying down, we're going to drop this outer hip down. And this is where we have Pangustasana 1. Lift the chest, open the breath. And then when you're ready, we're going to put the belt in the left hand. We're going to inhale up with the right hand. And on the exhale, we're going to roll our belly toward the lifted leg, straightening it out if we can, walking the opposite hand down the belt. And keep dropping this outer hip down, squeezing the hips together, reaching back. And breathing. Good, deep breath in and then exhale back up to the center. Bend the lifted leg. And come on down. Good, and then we're gonna come to the opposite leg. So that'll be our left leg. We're going to take the left leg out to the side and belt it. And just like we did in tree pose, we're going to bring it up to the bricks. And then again, kind of get our hip over our standing leg. Try to find a straightness in this leg that's up to the chair as best we can. Drop the outer hip down of the lifted leg. Lift up your chest and then extend out through your heart. And just find a nice breath here. If you wanted to do this series in a way that was a little more challenging, you could put your foot up against the wall and take it a little higher. That's another beautiful way to do this. Good, deep breath in. And when you're ready, we're going to gently bend the leg, take it out, release the belt, and do the other side. So I'm just going to move this over. And we're going to do the second side. So this time the left leg facing the chair to begin with, belting the bottom of the foot. We're going to bend it first, lift it up, stretch it out. And holding the belt as far down as you can to lift yourself up. Lifting yourself up, lifting your chest up, dropping the outer hip down. Stretching yourself right here. Good, and then keeping the belt in the right hand, we're going to inhale the left arm up. Big breath in, walk the opposite hand down the belt as you exhale and roll your belly toward your lifted leg. Dropping the arm behind you. Keep dropping the outer hip. Keep lifting up through your chest. Straightening the standing leg and twisting yourself open here. Good. Make sure the breath is still flowing. Deep breath in and then exhale slowly back to the center. Bend the lifted leg and gently come out. And shake out the standing leg if it got tight. Excellent. And then we're going to do Pangustasana 2 out to the side. So here we go. External rotation as much as you can. Lifting that leg up, maybe first to the chair and then to the bricks. And then one thing we always want to make sure with this posture here too is that the lifted leg heel is intersecting the middle of the standing leg arch of the foot. Good. So find all of that, straighten that lifted leg if you can, straighten your standing leg, level your hips as best you can. And I'm kind of close to the wall to extend my arm, so I'm just gonna extend it by capping my shoulder here, but lift up the chest, extend through the heart center, breathing, nice stretch out to the side, Pangustasana 2. Good. Deep breath in. On the exhale, we're just going to gently bend that leg, bring it maybe first to the chair and then down. Awesome. And let's just roll out our hips after that work, because that was a nice fair bit of work. So rolling the hips one way, rolling the hips the other way, kind of drawing the navel into the spine as you do this and just feeling any tension and tightness in the hip area. Good. And then we're going to do a nice chair dog stretch next. So your hands will go on the outsides of the chair. They're turned out externally. Step yourself back a little bit. Turn the toes in and the heels out. And then just lengthen yourself as if you were in downward facing dog. So you're in the knuckles, not the wrists. The tops of your thighs are moving back. You're lengthening the spine so that your ears come between your hands. Your legs are straight. And just take a couple breaths into this beautiful dog stretch. And then let's inhale and let's come forward. Let's come forward into a plank position. So that means we're going to drop our butts. We're going to extend our hearts forward. We're going to reach back into the heels. And then bend the elbows back a little bit and just scoop forward into an up dog. So even though we're kind of lifting our chest and dropping our butts, we're reaching back through the heels. And just taking a nice big breath in. And then lifting the hips up high again. Come back into your dog. Just a couple of breaths into the dog, releasing your neck, stretching your shoulders, letting go. Inhale, look up at the chair, and exhale, just gently walk forward. Hands to the hips and come on up. Good, roll the shoulders. Then we're just going to do a nice little resting. So feet a little more than hip width apart. Ardha Uttanasana to begin. And then just taking the head down to the chair seat. And then taking the hands down to the chair legs. And just letting go. Let everything just go. See if you can gently find the crown of your head or close to the crown of your head. And just allow the mind to settle, the breath to be smooth and even. The knees can be slightly bent. This is a posture that's very good to release anxiety, especially if we can just let go here. Letting go. And just noticing whatever it is that you notice in your body in this moment. Bringing a sense of compassionate awareness to yourself. Cultivating that skill so that you can do it to others. Bring compassionate awareness to the world around you, to the people, to the animals, to the plants, to the earth. Yoga is a way that we can cultivate that skill of observing ourselves first with compassion and bringing it out into the world. So when you're ready, we're going to bring the hands up to the chair seat and just press up Into a nice Ardha Uttanasana again. Pressing into the feet, hands to the tops of the thighs. Come up with a long spine, taking care of your back. Good. Awesome. So it is time for us to officially wind down and finish our practice. So let's do that. Let's come on down. And coming onto our backs, we'll just do a nice little twist. So coming onto the back, let's just take the knees up to the chest and stretch them in, arms out to the side, and just hop your hips just a little over to the left. And then think about the knees dropping gently off to your right armpit. Slow and gentle into a little spinal twist. And then if you want to gently turn the neck, the look off, out over that left arm. Breathing into the ribs, spreading the spaces between the ribs with your beautiful breath. When you're ready, we're going to use the in-breath to come back to the center. And just gently reset the spine to the center. Taking the knees into the chest. Little hop over to the right with the hips and dropping the knees off into the left armpit very slowly. For a nice little twist. Maybe gently turning the neck to the right if it feels okay. Nice soft breath back to the center, big inhalation. And then exhaling, taking up your entire mat for Shavasana. Stretching yourself from head to toe. Taking the arms to the sides. Yeah, do a nice cleansing breath. Big breath in through the nose and just let out a sigh. Letting go. As you exhale, just let your body begin to melt onto the mat. Let all of the muscles just let go. Let the limbs become heavy. Releasing the arms. Releasing the hands. Releasing the shoulders. The entire back body, the legs, the feet, releasing your entire face, just letting all of the expression just melt from the face. Releasing the jaw, the throat, letting the skull become heavy. Releasing your whole body onto the earth. Allowing for a gentle stillness.
allowing for ease in your body and mind. Just continuing to totally let go.
With deep gratitude for your body. And a appreciation for your life. And for the beauty in your life. And I'm going to read a little quote to you from Sarah Wilson as you're resting there in this openness. The way you alchemize a soulless world into a sacred world is by treating everyone as if they are sacred until the sacred in them remembers. So in this moment, just remembering that you are sacred and life is sacred. And with that remembrance, just hug your knees into your chest slowly, just moving slowly with awareness. And then very softly rolling onto your right side. And very gently press up with an inhalation to find a seat, to feel our practice together. So once you found your seat, just take your hands to your heart, connecting to that sacred place within you, that place of absolute love and possibility and even magic. And gently bow your head in gratitude for all you've been given and for infinite possibilities. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me today, and I will look forward to next week. And may you recognize the sacredness within and around you all week long as a beautiful practice. Bye-bye.